Good morning. We want to welcome everyone this morning over here to Bales Intermediate for a special occasion. As everyone knows, our school, Bales Intermediate, is named after Zoo Stevenson Bales, who was a pioneer educator in Friendswood community. And we're here today to dedicate a palm tree, a Sago palm tree that she was given in Mexico in the 1950s when she served as a missionary, and now it's here on our campus. At this time, our assistant principal, Ann Phelps, is going to read a biographical sketch of Miss Zoo Bales.
I'd like to give you a little history of Mrs. Bales, for whom our school is named. Zoo Stevenson Bales was 8 years old when her parents moved their family from southeast Kansas to Montgomery County, Texas in a covered wagon in 1897. They came by train to Pearland, then on to Friendswood by horse and buggy in 1899. Zoo grew up in Friendswood, attended the Quaker Academy, married Edward Bales, bore a son and daughter. She returned to school, became a teacher and a principal at the academy. Zoo was active in the community and church and was an artist and a musician. And after age 57 was a faith missionary to Mexico for many years before she died peacefully in her sleep at 89. Zoo had a great zest and appreciation for life that made her a special lady. Although she was the most unpretentious person, and unpretentious means not showy and comfortable with who you are, everybody who lived in Friendswood in the 60s and even in the 1970s was touched some way by her contributions. The characteristics that emanated from her daily life are the ones Friendswood folks have always admired. She had pluck. As an 8-year-old girl, she walked many of the 600-plus miles alongside the family's covered wagon as the Stevensons moved to Texas looking for a new home. As an 11-year-old, she saw her baby brother die and spent the night of the 1900 Galveston storm lodged under barbed wire while the family home was destroyed. She had respect for education. She attended school at the Friendswood Academy that her father had helped construct. Math and Latin were her favorite subjects. She later taught at the academy for 5 years and was principal for 2 of those years. She had a love of God. Zoo spent her entire life living the precepts she found in the Bible. After age 57, she spent 14 years as an independent faith missionary in New Mexico, Guatemala, and Mexico. She had devotion to family. Zoo provided lovingly for the education of her children, Hubert and Mildred, teaching them the constellations and other nature lessons. She provided them with books, especially biographies of heroes, and she gave them music and art lessons. When her young husband suffered a leg amputation, she joined him to work by his side in their fig orchard. She was a lifelong artist. Zoo studied art as a young girl and did her first painting when she was 14. Her work, which has been compared to Grandma Moses' work, has been given to various city buildings, the museum, her church, friends and family, and we have one here at Bales, actually. She gave art lessons to her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. She was a lifelong musician. She studied music as a young girl, and in January 1906 was named the first organist for the Quaker Church. So she was only about 16 years old, the age of a high school girl, when she was a church organist. She gave private piano lessons for years and saw that her daughter received lessons from a gifted teacher in Houston when Mildred became an advanced piano student. At age 57, she learned to play the accordion and used it as a traveling organ in her missionary work. At age 80, she visited the Friendswood Rest Home once a week to play for the old people, as she liked to call them. Zoo was an independent thinker. She was never concerned about what others had or what others did. She did what she felt was right, regardless of others' opinions. Zoo Bales was an educator, an artist, a musician, and a missionary, and this is the great lady we honor today. And I would just like to say to each of the students that I feel privileged, truly, to come to a school named in her honor, and I hope that each of you does too.
Thank you, Ms. Phelps. I think we all have that opportunity right now to hear what a great lady Sue Bales was and what an honor it is to have her name in our school and to have this Sago palm that she was given in Mexico on our campus. And in her honor and in her memory at this time, we would like to have a moment of silence, please. As you've heard, Ms. Bales spent much of her time in Mexico as a missionary, and upon returning from one of these trips, she was brought back this Sago palm. It obviously was not near the size and how majestic it is now, but it has grown into a magnificent plant. This plant was planted, they had the family nursery that was on Friendswood Drive across from what is now Stevenson Park and the fire station. In approximately 1981, Scott and Marvin Lee purchased that nursery and had their business there. At that time, Miss Bales gave that palm tree to the Lee boys and asked them to take care of it and make sure that it was always in a place where it would be honored and well taken care of. Recently, the Lees sold the nursery and were moving their business from that location. And at that time, they made the decision that this palm tree should go someplace where it would be really special for Miss Bales. And that's why it is planted here on our campus now. We're honored to have this living memorial to Miss Bales here. And it's a reminder of her legacy in the Friendswood education community and the many seeds that she planted throughout the years. At this time, if Scott and Marvin Lee and Billy Glines and Margie Brown could join me up here, please. I would like to read the inscription that's going to be on a bronze plaque that will be placed next to the plant within the next month. The plaque will read, "This is a Sago palm commemorating Sue Stevenson Bales, 1889 to 1978. Educator, artist, horticulturist. From her missionary trips to Mexico circa 1950 grew this magnificent specimen, cared for and gifted by Marvin and Scott Lee, 2008. Let's give them a big hand, please. Our special guest today would like to invite you to the library following this for some coffee to warm us up a little bit. Students, we appreciate your attention today. We hope this was a meaningful time for you. We're going to dismiss you back to the building in kind of the order that you're seated. If you'd go back in the 4th grade, if you would go in the doors by Westwood, and everyone else can go into the front doors. Again, we appreciate your participation today, and we hope that everyone will, when you see this palm tree, will be reminded of Miss Bales' legacy to education here in Friendswood. Thank you.